Hey, how you guys doing? How is everyone? Are you guys having a good week? Let me know. Hi. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to get in here, let us do the thumbnail. Also, let me know if the music's too loud too. So, for the thumbnail, we are doing a tip of the day. Actually, I'm going to go turn the music down. I will be right back. Hey, I'm back. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. I felt like I was yelling over all that music and everything. So let us get started while we were waiting for everyone to get in here and start chatting, and telling me how your day is and all that. Let's do the thumbnail, which we started doing the tip of the day. So the tip of the day, the dragon charm that usually signifies the dragon hand. This charm could typically be anything, and every casino is different, so each casino has a different charm. You can see it right here. There you go. Well, Vegas Aces is now considering a new dragon charm. So we are thinking about adding this guy to our dragon charms. Ooh, I don't think anyone is watching. Okay, if you're watching, put something in the chat, because I'm not seeing anything in the chat for either YouTube or Twitch. So I think I might have to stop this and restart this. See what's going on. Hey, we got someone. Awesome. Bill. Hey, Bill. How are you? Can you see me okay? Is everything okay? I'm feeling like I'm having technical difficulties. Jimmy on Twitch. Hi. Okay, so can you guys see this okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know everything's cool. I was starting to worry. I couldn't see anyone on the chat, and I was thinking I was just talking to myself here. I'm like, oh, I don't want to keep going on for 10 minutes talking to myself and have nobody be watching. Okay, so let's try this again. So, tip of the day. We're trying this again. I tried to be funny, but I was thinking I was having technical difficulties, so. Okay, good. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's try this. Pretend you didn't see any of that. The dragon charm usually signifies the dragon hand, but this charm could be different. This charm is different typically for every casino. Every casino is different, so they will have a different charm, and each one will be different. So this is what we've been using, and now Vegas Aces is considering a new dragon charm. Meet Draco. Hi. So this is Draco, and this is our new dragon charm. What do you think? We'll plop him on hands. That would be the dragon hand. Ha! Okay. So. And you know what? You could have your new dragon charm, especially after this Sunday, because I'm sure after this Sunday there will be plenty of dragons looking for work. Ha! Okay, that was a total Game of Thrones reference. If you guys are watching, say hi in the chat. I see a couple people watching, not too many people. Looks like a nice, slow, easy day. That's very, very cool. Let me know how your week was. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you have any questions on Pai-Gow Poker, feel free to ask. And, oh good, hey Slotshot, how you doing? How's your week going? Let me know. So, let's do this thing. Welcome back to Vegas Aces Open Classroom Livestream. I'm Heather Ferris with Vegas Aces, and today I will be teaching you Pai-Gow Poker. So, as you can see, Pai-Gow Poker won the poll this week. Pai-Gow Poker eked out a win with 6 votes, followed by Let It Ride with 5 votes, and Blackjack with 3 votes. Now, Before we get started, I just want to remind you to subscribe and always make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you'll always be notified of my latest videos and live streams. My next live stream is my Pai-Gow Poker live stream, Let's Play Pai-Gow Poker, on Monday, May 20th at 7 p.m. Hey Slotshot, thank you very much. Awesome. Yes, Vegas Aces is 9 years old. We just turned 9 years old this week. So Vegas Aces has been around for a while. I believe we've been up on YouTube for 7 years now. Been putting out videos on YouTube for 7 years, and we've just been trying to get better and provide you more content and better content, and hopefully we'll keep growing and we'll keep expanding, and fingers crossed. So here's to year number 10, right? Okay. Anyway, so speaking of which, Vegas Aces is now a business, which means we have to sell stuff. I hate doing this part. This is my least favorite part of the whole thing. It's probably why I try to get it over with as quickly as possible. This week, we are selling Vegas Aces stickers. So if you want a Vegas Aces sticker, there you go. It is $5. Go ahead and send me $5. Let me know you want a sticker, and I will ship that off to you. And if you want to know how to send me the money, I believe there is a donation link, a PayPal donation link in the description below. If you send $5 there with a note saying you're buying a sticker, I'll know to send you a sticker. And then same if you go to my website, at the very end of the website, where the footer is, I have a PayPal link where you could send me money. Again, just say that you want to buy a sticker and I'll send you a sticker. $5. Also, another thing, we have something new on the website. What was it? We've actually had a couple new things on the website, but I'll talk about the other thing later. One new thing, since we're talking about it, is again, if you go to the footer of my website with the links, all the social media links, you'll now see a heart on there, and the heart is a link to my Patreon page. So if you want to become a member of my Patreon page, you click that heart at the very bottom and it'll take you to the link. Jimmy, awesome. Happy birthday, Vegas Aces. Finding the YouTube channel was what got me interested. Oh, cool. Right on. And taught me how to play table games. I love that. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. And yeah, if you get a chance, and if you haven't already, check out the website. All of the videos we have up is on the website, but it's all broken down. So you'll see everything word for word. It'll have pictures, diagrams, all of that. Plus, we have way more stuff on there. So check it out if you want more sources and materials. Cool. Okay, so you guys are doing good in the chats. You guys are not chatty very much today. That's cool. That makes things go faster, especially since I like to sit here and talk my ear off, or not talk my ear off, talk your ear off, but technically I'm talking my ear off because I'm here talking to myself, I feel like, but I'm talking to you guys. Okay, I'm going on a rant. Let us continue. Vegas Aces is now placing dealers at the Sunset Station. We are doing interviews and video auditions all week. If you want to deal at Sunset Station, then email me at heather@vegas-aces.com. Any experience level is welcomed, but you must be able to deal blackjack, pitch a handheld game, and deal one of two games, either roulette or Pai-Gow Poker, which is what we're learning today. So, if there's anything you don't know, we will teach you, and we will walk you through the process of getting hired as a dealer. Also, we are working with a San Diego business that hosts casino parties. So if you're in the San Diego area and you're looking for some side work as a dealer, let me know, send me an email, and I will hook you two up. Okay, and like we were talking about before, Super Chat and Patreon, remember to always tip your dealer, and now you can with Super Chat. Super Chat is the way YouTube allows you to show your appreciation by tipping me any amount you want. Go ahead and give it a try, or you could show your support by becoming a member of my Patreon page. We have several different levels and rewards for you to choose from. Any level counts, even $1. So become a Patreon member today. like I said, we had a couple new things on the website. Besides the new article that I posted, what was it, this week, last week? I think it was last week. Don't mind me. Besides that, I finished, I believe it was last week. Besides that, if you go to the articles page, now you could view the articles page on your mobile device. So I didn't realize this, but for a while, the mobile part of the articles page, like when you went to the articles page on my website, on your cell phone or tablet, it was all messed up, totally screwed up. Oh my God, it looks so bad. And I finally figured it out, and I spent the last few days working on it. So now if you go on the website to articles on your phone or tablet, it should be working for you. It should be looking good. Everything should be nice and orderly and in place, and you should have no problems. So that is new. You're right, Bill. I didn't. You are absolutely right. Let's see. So we are doing a meet and greet. Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that. We are doing a meet and greet on Monday, the 27th at 6 p.m. Ellis Island. And we're going to be doing karaoke. You could come by, you could drink, you could have fun. There's going to be a whole group of us and everything. And if you can't make it, and if you can't come hang out with me and meet me and all that, no worries, because we are going to be live streaming on that day. We actually have a very interesting week that week with live streaming starting on the 23rd. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yes, meet and greet. Ellis Island, 6 p.m., May 27th. Be there or be square. Awesome. Hey, Alan, how you doing? Hey, Andrew, how is everyone? How you guys doing? Oh, good, Jimmy. I'm glad it looked okay to you on your phone. That's awesome, because I was totally stressing out about that. Okay, so shall we get started? I think we got through all of the notifications, all of the updates, all of the things I normally have to say in order to start a live cast. I think we got through all of it. If you have any questions on Pai-Gow Poker, go ahead and put them in the comments. Otherwise, I am going to teach you how to play Pai-Gow Poker. So let's get started. The first thing that you have to know when you walk up to a Pai-Gow Poker game, of course, is how and where to bet. So when you come up to the game and you bet whatever minimum the table is, let's just say it's a $10 minimum, you're going to put $10 in this circle right here. And this circle, this is your main bet. This is the bet that is your main bet that you're playing. That's your bet. Now, there is one side bet that you could play, and depending on the casino and depending on the table you're playing, there could actually be multiple side bets. It just depends on the game. But this side bet is a normal one, and this is a fortune bonus side bet. So the fortune bonus, I don't think you could see it. Let's see, you could see a little bit of it right here. The fortune bonus states that basically if you have a straight or higher, you are going to get paid on the fortune bonus. If you're playing, say, $1 to $5, if you were playing $5 on the fortune bonus, for example, then you would qualify for the envy bonus. And the envy bonus says that if any of the other players on the table get a straight or higher, or not a straight, it is a, let's see here, 4 of a kind. If any of the other players on the table get a 4 of a kind or higher, then you get paid money for that. So for example, if someone gets 4 of a kind, let's say this guy right here, then you would get paid $5 because you have the envy bonus. If someone had this is the best one you could do, a 7-card straight flush with no joker, this guy right here has it and you don't have it, you just have a really crappy hand, you would still get paid for his good hand. You would get paid $5,000 for his good hand. So it can be worth it. Sometimes it's not. I have been on a table, I've been dealing on a table where someone did get the best hand you could get, the 7-card straight flush with no joker, and that guy wasn't playing the fortune bonus. No one else was playing the envy bonus, so no one got paid on it. But that payout, just so you know, for the fortune bonus is 8,000 to 1, and the envy bonus is 5,000. So those are the payouts. You have the main bet per se, and then the fortune bet. And again, if the fortune bet is $1, it would just be the normal fortune bet, like so. If it was $5, then it would qualify for the envy bet, and that's when you get paid for other people's hands. Now, there's one more bet that we really should go over, and that's the dragon hand. So let's say, for example, all the cards are out, everyone is playing. We're going to talk about the dragon hand later on, so don't worry about this. But another way you could bet is by betting on the dragon hand, and if you did that, you have to bet... Where is that? To the right of your hand. I have to like turn around, so I have to think of where it is on the player side. So on the player side, it would be to the right of your hand. Okay. So those are the ways that you could bet on the game. Now let us see what you guys are saying in the chats. Slot shot. So the side bet doesn't have to be the table minimum. Good question. So the fortune bonus, and again, it depends on the side bet that you're talking about, but the fortune bonus is $1 minimum. So if the table minimum is a $10 minimum, you have to put $10 on your main bet, but the fortune bonus is, you could just play $1. And if it's other side bets, then it depends on the casino and it depends on the side bet. If you have any questions, ask your dealer for specifics, and they'll be able to help you out. Fabian, whoop whoop, open classroom time. Awesome. Yeah, 8,000 to 1, definitely. And then the next second best one after that is the royal flush plus a royal match, which means what was that? It's a king and a queen of hearts or diamonds or the same suit. And that's what a royal match is. And that is 2,000 to 1 with the envy bonus being $1,000. Okay, cool. So you guys are good on the chats. I don't know. I just love doing this. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so everyone makes their bets. We're going to make pseudo bets out here so you guys can sort of see what's going on. So people are betting. Some people have envy bonuses, some don't. Actually, let's have you guys not. And we will give you the envy. There you go. Okay, so everyone's bet is up and ready to go. Now, the dealer would shuffle, and it's a normal single deck that they would use. And in the single deck, they have the joker. So 52 cards plus a joker. So dealer would shuffle. And we're just going to do a simple riffle, strip, riffle, strip, riffle, box, riffle. Yeah. So riffle, strip, box, riffle. Somewhere around there. I know, my single deck shuffle should be way more structured than that. Okay, so we got all of that. And then you do the normal shuffle. And then what you do after that is, if there is no machine, because normally what you would do is you would have a machine and you would just put the deck in the machine and the machine would spit out the cards for you. And you would have a random number generator in the middle of the table, and the random number generator would tell you where to go. But since we don't have a machine and we don't have a random number generator, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, which, by the way, if your shuffling machine breaks down, you're going to have to do it this way. Or there are some Pai-Gow poker tables out there where you do have to deal the old-fashioned way. Okay. So we shuffle the deck. After you're done, you lay it out, and you do 7 stacks of 7 cards each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 stacks of 7 cards each. And you go left to right, not right to left. So always go left to right when you're doing this. And try to stay low to the table so that way people can't see what the cards are. Oh, there we go. Okay, so once you're done, you know you did it right if you have 4 cards left over. If there are 4 cards left over, you know you did it right, everything's cool, and you are good to proceed. So you're just going to straighten up the stacks a little bit. And what you're doing right here is you're making a dragon. So this is the dragon. This is the tail of the dragon. You could see its little tail. And this is the head of the dragon. The head of the dragon is always considered to be lucky, and the tail of the dragon is always considered to be unlucky. Now, how do we tell where to go? Well, we have dice, and as you can see, there are 3 dice here. Normally what the dealer will do, the dealer will shake it up, put it on the table, and then they'll display the dice. Now, if you have a player banker, and we're going to talk about this later on, player banker. The player banker can shake the dice and put it down, but the dealer has to be the one to reveal the dice. Otherwise, the dealer will always be the one to shake the dice and reveal the dice. So what we're going to do is we're going to shake the dice, we're going to reveal the dice, and whatever number is on the dice will be the number that we put the first cards, or the head of the dragon. Now, how do we tell where we put the cards? Well, what we do is the dealer or the banker, I shouldn't say the dealer, I should say the banker. The banker will always be number 1, 8, and 15. 1, 8, and 15. Okay? So if the player banker is the banker, then that's where that starts. But normally the dealer is the banker. So that's why the dealer will start 1, 8, and 15. And I'm probably confusing you. I'm sorry, but we will talk about player banker later on, so hopefully I don't confuse you. So the dealer will start off 1, 8, 15, and then after that, what we do is we go counterclockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we go back to 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on, and then 15. And that's how we determine where we go. And then once we figure out the numbers, well, here, let's just do that. So now we know why we're doing the dice. So let's do the dice. Dealer shakes it up, dealer reveals it. We have 11. Okay, so remember the dealer is 1, 8, and 15. So 15 is right here. Now remember, when we do it, this is 8. Let's just say 1, 8, and 15. So let's say we're 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. So this spot would be 11. Another way the dealer could do it is we also know we're 15, which is how I was about to do it, which probably would have confused you guys. But 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. You could count backwards or forwards, whatever you want to do. So we'll start off with the dealer's 8. We're going to 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and the reason why I said this was 11 and not this was 11 last time is because I forgot that there was a spot over here that my screen is sort of covering, and I forgot about it, so I didn't count it. So I made a mistake. Okay, so it's 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is 11. So the cards will go, the head of the dragon will go to spot number 11, like so. And now we're going to continue going in a counterclockwise fashion. So we go here, there, and then this is me, and that's why we're putting this on the banker on the cards, because that's, mine. And then this one is that spot that I forgot because there is a screen on it, and then that one over there. Dealer will cover up the dice and put it to the side. Okay. And that is how the cards are shuffled. That is how they're dealt out, and that is how they're delivered. let's see what you guys are saying in the chats, if you guys have any questions. Oh, Fabian, unfortunately we don't have Pai-Gow Poker here in Germany. Darn. What games do you like to play in Germany? What are your favorite games to play over there? What's popular? Okay, so no comments, no questions in the chat. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you want me to explain anything, just go ahead and put it in the chat. So let us continue. Now we're gonna figure out basically how to set the hand. So when you get your cards, oh, here, let me put that to the side. It wouldn't be good if I showed you my banker hand first. When you get your cards, you are gonna have 7 cards. What you are gonna do, especially when you're learning, this makes it really, really easy to figure out what to do. Set them up from highest to lowest. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, so we have a great hand here. We have a 3 of a kind. We have a pair, so we got a full house right here with an ace 2. Now, a full house is a little bit different. So when you have a full house, now let me try to explain this really fast. If you have a high card, so if these 7 cards, if you only had an ace and that was your highest card, you would put the ace on the bottom, and the bottom would be 5 cards on the bottom and your 2 second highest cards on the top. So your ace high, for example, let's just say this is ace high. Then what you would do is you would put this on the bottom. So the ace high would be on the bottom because the bottom is your 5 cards and the 5 cards is your high hand. So it always has to be a high hand. This has to be like the highest hand. And then the second 2 highest cards after that, which is a king and a 3, is going to go on top. We don't know what these cards are. They could be any cards. We're just using this as an example. So ace high, you have ace king, it's ace high. Ace would go on the bottom, your bottom 5 cards, and the king would go on top because the second 2 highest cards after your high hand would go on the top. So that's what you do with a high card. If you have a pair, you would play the pair on the bottom. So we have a pair on the bottom, and then you would do your next highest card. Let's just say the next highest card is a 9. The next highest card you would put on the top, per se. So if you had a pair would always be at the bottom because that's your high card, and then your second highest 2 cards after that would go on the top. Now, if you have a 2 pair, what do? Well, there's a rule for 2 pair, and we'll go over this in the visual, but I just want to go over this really fast with you guys. So 2 pair, if you have 6s and jacks and higher, you're always going to split it. If you have 6s and 5s and anything less, you're always going to keep together. And anything else you're always going to split unless you have an ace. You would put the ace on the top and you would keep the 2 pair together on the bottom. So that's 2 pair. Now we're getting into the more fun things where we're having 3 pair, we have a full house, we have a straight. What do? Well, it really just depends on the hand. So for example, if you have 3 pair, if you have a pair of aces, if you have a pair of 10s, if you have a pair of 5s, what would you do? Well, you would put the pair of aces on the top, and it would always be the highest pair on the top and your 2 lowest pair on the bottom. So you would have 2 pair in your high hand and a pair of aces on the top. Okay, now that I totally confused the crap out of you guys, let's do this hand. So this hand is really cool. This hand is a rarity. We don't normally see this hand. So what would we do? Now, let's just say, for example, we don't have an ace. We just had the full house. If you have a full house, you would always keep the 3 of the kind on the bottom, and you would put the pair on the top, like so. For this one, let's see. Now I have to think about it. So we have an ace. Normally when you have an ace, that's when it screws up, like that's when the exception happens. I shouldn't say it screws up. I should just say that's when all of the exceptions happen. So I am trying to remember if you would put the ace 2 on the top and keep the full house together. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't. I'm pretty sure with this one it would be the same. You would put the pair of threes on the top and the 3 of a kind on the bottom. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get your strongest hand you possibly can. And every casino is different. Every casino will have their house way, and they'll give you a sheet or several sheets that you have to memorize so you can figure it out. When it's something like this where it never happens and it's one of those really rare occurrences and you just don't remember because you never see it, what you would do in this instance, if you're not sure and you're the dealer, you would call over your floorman and you'd be like, hey floorman, I know that typically we would put like the pair of threes on the top and the 3 of a kind on the bottom, but I'm have a brain fart. I can't remember. Do I put the ace on the top or not? And then what he'll do is he'll go and he'll they usually keep the rules in the podium. He'll go to the podium, he'll take the rules out, and he'll double check and see what the rules are, what the house way is, and he'll come back and he'll let you know what to do. So don't stress out if there's ever a time where you don't know what to do. Also, if you were playing, same thing. If you were a player and you don't know what to do, you can always ask the dealer and the dealer will let you know. If the dealer doesn't know, you can call over the floorman and same exact scenario, just ask the floorman what to do and he'll go, he'll check the rules, he'll see what to do and he'll come back and he'll let you know. So there's never going to be an instance where you're looking at your hand and you're like, oh my God, I don't remember what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I'm sort of SOL. That's all I could do. That's never ever going to happen. As the player, you ask the dealer. As the dealer, you ask the floor. As the floor, you usually have the rules in your podium. Okay, so in this instance, we're going to break it up. So the full house, we are putting the pair of threes on the top and the 3 of the kind at the bottom. And that is how we are playing this hand. So again, we put the 2 cards in the low hand to the side like this. And the 5 cards are the high hand. And they go down below like so. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. See if you have any questions. Ha, Dan. Dan says, now I know why I only play craps. Well, craps is pretty difficult too. I think this game might be a little easier than craps. My personal new favorite game is Ultimate Texas Hold'em. That's a good one too, Fabian. Frank, popular card games in Germany. Ooh, Scott. Ooh, I'm probably totally butchering this. Scott, Mau Mau, Rummy, Texas Hold'em Poker. Is it Scott or Scat? Scat? Scat or Scott? I'm not sure. Okay. Again, I butcher everything. Any pronunciation we ever do, I will probably butcher it. Awesome. Okay, so you guys are doing good in the chat. No other questions, nothing else like that, so let us continue. So with this hand, again, what we're going to do is we're going to arrange our cards from the highest to the lowest, and that will help us see what we have. So we have 2 pair right here. Again, with the 2 pair rule, if you have 6s and higher and jacks and higher, you always split the pair. So again, 6s and higher, jacks and higher, you always split the pair. If you have 6s and 5s and anything lower, you always keep it together. Anything else, you would always split unless you have an ace. If you have an ace, you would keep it together. Otherwise, you would split. So this is the case where we have 6s and jacks and higher. 6s higher than 6s. This is higher than jacks. So we are going to split that. So the pair of 8s is going to go in our low hand and the pair of queens is going to go in our high hand. Again, these 2 cards are going sideways in the low hand, the box that has the low or the L, and this one is going where the high hand should go. Ha, Mark. Hey Mark, how you doing? Good to see ya. Very nice looking tabletop. Did you get this from Spinetti's or Gambler's General Store? Oh God, where did I get this? Let me think. Where did I get this? I don't remember. It might have been Spinetti's, because I was just shopping at Spinetti's only for a while, and then I started shopping at the Gambler's General Store more often. So this was one of my very first layouts that I had as a dealer. So I believe I got it at Spinetti's. Okay, that one was a hard one. That was a hard question. Okay, just a second. Drink break, and then we will continue. How are we doing on time? We're doing good on time. Awesome. Okay. So the next hand, again, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by putting the highest at the top to the lowest. Makes it easier for us to see what we have. Now we have a pair of 7s and a pair of 5s. Remember, if we have a pair of 6s and 5s and anything lower, we would always keep together. Well, this isn't 6s, this is 7s. So this is the anything else category. So anything else, you would always split unless you have an ace. We don't have an ace, so we would always split. So the 5s would go on the top and the 7s would go on the bottom. So the pair of 5s in the low hand and the pair of 7s in the high hand. Pair of 7s being higher than a pair of 5s. Again, how did I figure that out? Well, if it was 6s and 5s, we would always keep it together, but it's 7s. So it falls in the everything else category. So everything else, you would always split unless you have an ace. We don't have an ace, so we're always going to split it. And that's how we get the 5s in the low hand and the 7s in the high hand. So the low hand is going to go here where the low hand's supposed to go, and the high hand, the 5-card high hand, right there where the high hand's supposed to go. Next, we have ace, jack, 10, 9, 7, and 5. Okay, so we have a pair of 9s. The pair of 9s are going to go in our high hand. The next two highest cards after that is the ace, jack. So the pair of 9s are going to be in our high hand, our 5-card high hand, and our next two highest cards after that is the ace, jack. So the ace, jack is going to go in our low hand. So ace, jack in the low hand, and the pair of 9s in the high hand. Next, we have an ace, a queen, a 9, a 7. Ooh, a 3 of a kind. Look at that, 3 of a kind. Now, the 3 of a kind, we are going to keep in the high hand, and the ace, queen, which is our two highest cards after the 3 of a kind, the ace, queen would go in our low hand. Now, just to reiterate, when you have 3 of a kind, you're always going to keep the 3 of a kind together. Always keep the 3 of a kind together. Of course, there's always exceptions. One exception is aces. If you have a 3 of a kind aces, what you're going to do is you're going to put the 2 aces on the bottom and the ace on top. So you're going to have 2 aces on the bottom with 1 ace on top. So otherwise, if you have 3 of a kind, you're always going to keep the 3 of a kind together. So we're keeping the 3 of a kind together. The 3 of a kind is going to go in our high hand, our 5-card high hand, and the ace, queen, our 2 highest cards after that, are going to go into our low hand. So we're going to put that in our low hand, and we're going to put this in the high hand. Alan, I am learning more here about Pai-Gow Poker than when I was in the casino. Nice. And I'm always happy to answer your questions too. So if you guys ever have any questions about this game or any of the games, please feel free to ask. I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. Just let me know. Okay, so banker. So the banker one is the dealer's. Now it's my turn. Now we're going to see what the dealer has. So the dealer is going to flip over their cards. And I have a pair of jacks with a 10, 6, 5, 3, and 2. Do I have a flush? 1, 2, 3. Nope, no flush. So I do not have a flush. So my high hand is the pair of jacks. And my 2 highest cards after that is the 10 and the 6. So the 10 and the 6 are going to go in the low hand, and the pair of jacks are going to go in the high hand. So now what we're going to do is we're going to compare hands, and we're going to see who wins and who loses. Now, in order to win, you have to win both the low hand and the high hand both of them in order to win your bet. In order to lose, you have to lose both the low hand and the high hand to lose your bet. Anything else, if you win on the top and you lose on the bottom, or vice versa, anything else is a push and you keep your money. That is the reason why I love this game, especially as a player. I feel like I could come in here and play like $40, $50 and have it last me forever, because you're always pushing. So one of the benefits of this game, if you are a player. Okay, so let's see what I got. So this player has an ace and a queen, and they got, let's see here, the 3 of a kind 4s. Okay, so this player, the ace queen, is higher than my 10-6, so they win on the low hand, and their 3 of a kind 4s is higher than my pair of jacks, so they win on the low hand. So they win both the high hand and the low hand. They have a $10 bet, so they're going to get $10 minus a 5% commission. Now, what is 5%? So if you have a $5 bet and you are paying a 5% commission, then that is 25 cents. So for every $5 bet, 5% commission is 25 cents. For a $10 bet, it's 50 cents. For a $20 bet, it's $1. And for $50, it's $2.50. And for $100, it is $5. So I hope that answers your question with 5% commission. So we are paying $10 over here. It is 50-cent commission, so we're going to take the commission out and pay him like normal. So how would we do that? 50-cent commission. So now we have $1. So now we're at $1. 2, 3, 4, 5. We are at $5, and he is betting 10. So we put a $5 out there, and we now just paid a $10 bet with 5% commission taken out. Now, how did I do that? I figured out the commission. It's 50 cents. I started with 50 cents, and I paid up to his bet. And that is a really nice, easy, fast way for the dealer to figure out how to take the commission out of their bet without having to try to do a lot of math. So they get paid with the commission taken out, and we are going to go on to the next player. So Alan asks, what about the quarter player pays? What about the quarter payer plays? Okay, so you're talking about the 5% commission. So they'll throw, sometimes when you're at a Pai-Gow poker table, you'll see players throwing them 25 cents or throwing them 50 cents. That's what they're doing. They're paying the 5% commission. So that way the dealer doesn't have to take the commission out of their bet. So if they have a $10 bet and they win, and they know they know that $10 bet is going to pay 50 cents. So they'll just take a 50-cent piece and throw it out there, and that's them paying their commission. So the dealer would take the commission, put it in the bank, and then pay them the normal $10 bet. So that's how they would take care of commission and still pay the bet normally. Okay, so let us continue. So this player right here has an ace and a jack, and they have a pair of 9s. Okay, so their ace and the jack is higher than my 10-6, so they win the low hand. And their pair of 9s is lower than my pair of jacks, so my pair of jacks win the high hand. So because they win one, lose one, it's a push, and no money is exchanged. Now for the fortune bonus, he doesn't have any of the fortune bonus bets, so we are going to take this. However, we're leaving the envy button up, just in case any of these other players has an envy hand. This guy will still get paid for his envy bonus. So we will put the money away because he pushed. And now we're going to go on to this player. This player has a pair of 5s for the low hand and a pair of 7s for the high hand. So his pair of 5s beat my 10-6, so he wins on the top. And his pair of 7s lose. His pair of 7s lose because my pair of jacks are higher. So he wins one, lose one. So it would be a push, no money would be exchanged, and he would lose the fortune bonus. Now, just to point this out really fast, Players don't have to play the house way. Dealers have to play the house way. Dealers always have to play the house way. We don't get a choice of how we set our hand. We have to set our hand the same way no matter what, and we have to follow house procedure. But the players can play any way they want as long as the low hand is lower than the high hand. If the low hand is higher than the high hand, then it's a forfeit and they automatically lose. But as long as the low hand is lower than the high hand, then it's an accurate bet and they can play any way they want. And here's an example. So the house way had him split the 5s and the 7s. But if the player wanted, what he could have done was he could have kept these two together and he could have put the Jack 10 on top. That still would have been acceptable because you still have the 2 pair in your high hand and the Jack 10 in your low hand. It's an acceptable split. So this actually would have won because his Jack 10 would have beat my 10-6 and his 2 pair would have beat my pair of jacks. So if the player played it that way, he would have won. Now that's not technically a good way to play this hand because just a Jack 10 on top is not a good, it's not a strong hand. So you typically wouldn't put a Jack 10 on top if you could help it. But if he had played it that way, if he said, no, I wanted to do it my own way, and he played it that way, he's allowed to. And if he had done it, he could have won. So as the player, you're allowed to do a little bit more than, say, what the dealer would be able to do. And that's just one example of that. So let us continue. Next player has a pair of 8s and a pair of queens. So the pair of 8s is higher than the 10-6, so they win. And the pair of queens is higher than the pair of jacks, so they win. So you win the top, you win the bottom, you win the hand. It's a $10 bet, so we're going to take commission out. Again, $10 is a 50-cent commission. So what I do is I take 50 cents, add 50 cents to it. Now we're at $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. And that's how I figure out how to take the commission out of something in a fast, easy way. So we take the commission out. They don't have a fortune bonus, so I have to take the fortune bonus. And that does it for that hand. Next, we have a pair of 3s with the 3 of a kind kings. Did he play the fortune? Yeah, he played the fortune. Okay, so the pair of 3s is higher than the 10-6, so you win there. And the 3 of a kind kings is higher than the pair of jacks, so he wins there. He has $10. He throws us 50 cents for the commission. That way we could just pay him $10 and we take the commission and we're good to go. Now he has a fortune bonus, so let's take a look at the fortune bonus. We have a full house right there, and the full house pays 5 to 1. So he is going to get paid 5 to 1 on his fortune bonus. So the take and pay procedure is done. The cards are put away, and that is it. We just did a hand, a successful hand. So there you go. Now, do you guys have any questions up to this point? Is there anything that we covered that you don't understand? Is there anything you want me to explain better? If not, we are going to move on to our next lesson. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. But that was the basic average run through of a hand in Pai-Gow Poker. Slot shot. So the bonus is paid taking both the high and low cards. Yes, exactly, slot shot. So the bonus, the fortune bonus, is for your 7 cards, all 7 cards. So you could play the cards any which way you want and you'll still get paid. So that example where we had the full house and we split the full house, so we had the pair on the top and the 3 of the kind on the bottom. Well, even though we split that up, we still got paid for that full house because it's for all 7 cards. So absolutely, if you have a nice 7 card win, it doesn't matter how you play it, you're still going to get paid the bonus for it. Dan, what is the house edge on the bonus? Oh, you're going to stump me today. Oh, how rude. Okay, I do not know the house edge for the fortune bonus. If anyone out there knows that information, please put it in the chat so we can share that information. But I do not know what the house edge is for the fortune bonus. It's probably up there. Now, the house edge for this game, for Pai-Gow Poker, is 1.46%. And for Pai-Gow tiles, it's 1.5%. So that's the house edge for the normal game. You had to made me think there. You stumped me on the house edge for the fortune bonus. I'm telling you, man. Okay, cool. So I think we got all of that. Hey, Paul Ray, how you doing? Good to see you, Paul Ray. Woo! Paul Ray on Twitch. Awesome. If you have any questions on Twitch, let me know. Feel free to ask. I feel like I'm giving all my YouTube people my attention. I want to give you guys attention too. Come on, Twitch. Hi, Paul Ray. Okay. So we covered all that. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today before we go, and that is the player banker. So this is something that people have a lot of confusion about. Now, the dealer is normally the banker. And of course, the banker has a better house edge. The banker has better rules, and there are more things that are in favor of the banker. For example, if you tie, let's say your low hand ties, like both of you had the same low hand and they tie, then the banker will always win a tie. So if the player is banking and you get a tie with the dealer, because you're banking, you win that tie, because the banker always wins a tie. And that's one example how the rules are in favor of the banker. So as the player banker, you get those rules that are in favor of you. It's always better to play as the player banker. Now that means though that if you're going to be the player banker, you have to be able to cover all of the players on the table. So you can't go on a full table and be player banker and only do that with, like, say $10. You can't do that with $10. And the reason why is because you have to cover all of the other players' bets. Now, normally, the normal social interactions on a Pai-Gow poker table is if there's a player that is banking, most players will drop down their bet to the minimum, the table minimum, as a courtesy to that person, so they don't have to pay out a lot of money. That's just the normal social interaction. That's how people normally do it. It's just a courtesy. If you are playing on the Pai-Gow poker table and someone banks and you really don't care if you're betting like $50 or $10, then as a courtesy, you would lower your bet down to $10 to make it easier for him, so he doesn't have to pay out so much money. So as the player banker, you would have to cover all of the players' bets. And what would happen is, let's say, for example, that on the last hand, you were betting $20. So that's what your hand was on the last hand, was $20. Now that hand is over, and we're on to the next hand, and you say, hey, I want to be the player banker. Okay, you could be the player banker. Now that $20 that he bet on the last hand, the dealer's going to take that same amount of money, and they're going to place it on the table. Just how they were using the banker button, they're now going to use that amount of money as their little banker button. And this is the money that is being wagered between the banker and the house. So the player doesn't have to put any money up, but they have to show that they have money. They have to show that they have enough money to cover all of the players' bets that are being played. So let's say we have one player here and one player here, just to give us an example. Then this is how it would look when you start off the hand. The dealer has the bet, has the amount that the player was betting on the last hand. The player that's banking has the banker bet, and everyone would typically move their bets down to the minimum, which would be $10. So now we're going to start off the hand. Again, dealer's going to shuffle like a normal shuffle. Actually, this would be over here, so the dealer could do their normal shuffle right here. You never want to cover any money as the dealer, ever. So if the money's right here and you're shuffling, technically you're covering money because the camera can't see it. So you would just move the money to the side so that way the cameras can see it and you're not covering the bet. So the dealer would shuffle. Shuffle is done. And we would do our normal, how we were doing it before. We're going to go through one hand as the player banker so that way you can see what's going on and you can see how it happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hands. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So players get 7, or when you're doing this out, you're going to do 7 stacks of 7 cards each. And what you're looking for is at the end, you want there to be 4 cards at the end, and that 4 cards shows that you did it correctly. Okay, 4 cards. We see 4 cards. We know we did it correctly. Dealer's going to straighten up the stacks and make the dragon. Man, I have Game of Thrones on my mind. Every single time I think, like, we're talking about dragons, I'm automatically thinking about Game of Thrones. We got one more episode. We have the the series finale on Sunday. I can't believe it. Okay, so here's the dragon. Here's the dragon's head. Here's the dragon's tail. We're going to take our dice and roll the dice. So we have 14. Dealer is 15. Remember, dealer is 1. Oh, right. I'm sorry. The banker. Remember, the banker is 1, 8, and 15. So because the player is banking, the banker is 1, 8, and 15. So we have 14 right here. So we're going to start off with 15. And then where do we go from there? Remember that when you are doing the numbers, you're always going to do counterclockwise. So that would be 15, 16. That's counterclockwise. So that would be 15, 14. So 14's right here. So 14 is going to get the head of the dragon. And then when you're delivering the cards, you're going to go counterclockwise. So you're going to give out all of the rest of the cards. The dealer's going to get their cards. You're going to use the money that we were talking about, and you're going to put it on top of your cards as the dealer. You get that. And then the dice are put away. Now, what's going to happen? The player that's banking, he cannot look at his cards. He cannot touch his cards. He can't do anything with his cards. And the banker bet is going to go on top of the cards, and that's showing that that's the banker bet, and he can't do anything. He can't touch anything. Same thing with my cards. The bet's going to go on top of here, and that protects the cards. Everyone else is going to look at their cards, and they're going to play. And let's do that. Now, when we're doing the banker bet, the player banker, there's no dragon hand. So you're not going to ask for the dragon hand, or you're not going to do the dragon hand when the player's banking. So you're going to put the cards where there's no players away in the discard rack. We have 2 players right here. So let's see what they have for cards. We have an ace, a jack. Ooh, we have a full house again. We have 6s and 2s. Awesome. So again, a full house with an ace, jack. I think what we're going to do this time, the player is going to play, well, technically what the player should do is they're going to put the 6s at the top and the 3 of a kind at the bottom, even though they have an ace jack. Ace jack is good, not the best. That's why we're going to put the pair of 6s on top and the 3 of a kind at the bottom. Full house, you always split. That's the house way. If the player wanted to play the ace jack on top with the full house at bottom, they could do that too. Either way, they would get paid for the fortune bonus if they were playing the fortune bonus. So we're going to put the 6s on the top. Pair of 6s is the low hand, and the 3 of a kind 2s is the high hand with the ace jack. So that's that player's hand. This player's hand, let's see what he has. We have a king, 8, 7, 6. Ooh, wow, look at that. Okay, so we got a straight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a king. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the straight and then the 2 highest cards after that. So now the straight, we have a 6-card straight, not a 5-card straight. We have a 6-card straight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what would we put at the top? Well, we know we would put the king at the top for sure, but what other card would we put at the top? Well, when you're choosing this, when you have a choice, what you're going to do is you're always going to take the highest card and put it at the top for the low hand. And then the straight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, would be on the bottom for the high hand. You don't want to say put a king 3 at the top for your low hand and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the bottom for your high hand. And the reason why is because either way, you have a straight, and a straight is great. So you want to make this top hand, your low hand, as strong as you possibly can. You can't make this low hand strong when you're putting the 3 up there. The 3 is not going to do anything for you. So what you want to do is you want to put the 8 up there, because the 8 is the highest card that you have to play with, and it's higher than 3, and it makes the low hand a much stronger hand than if you would have said put the 3 on the top. So we're going to have the straight at the bottom and the king 8 at top. So king 8 goes here, and the straight goes there. So now that the players are done and they've looked at the cards and they figured out what they're going to do, what we're going to do is, let's see. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. Give me 1 second. I don't know why, my brain just completely went like dead on me. Okay, so that's what you do. So after all the players have looked at their cards, what's going to happen is the banker, the player banker, is going to look at his cards and he's going to figure out what he's going to do. So the player banker sees that all the players are done looking at their cards, and now he's going to look at his cards. So let's see what he has. He has a pair of queens, a jack, a 9, 7, 6, and 2. So the pair of queens is your high hand, and the jack 9 is the second 2 cards that is highest after that. So the jack 9 is going to go on the top, and the pair of queens is going to go at the bottom. So he's going to put the jack 9 at the top and pair of queens at the bottom. So he set that hand, and we're going to put the banker button on top of his cards. And now that all of the players and the player banker are done looking at their cards and setting their cards, now the dealer is going to look at his cards and see what he has. So we're going to move this money, and we are going to see what we have. We have a pair of queens, a 10, pair of 8s, a 5, and a 4. So we have queens and 8s. So we're going to do the two pair rule. The 2 pair rule is if you have a pair of 6s and jacks and anything higher, you're always going to split it. Pair of 8s is higher than a pair of 6s, and a pair of queens is higher than a pair of jacks. So we know we are going to split this. So the pair of 8s is going to go on the top for your low hand, and the pair of queens is going to go on the bottom for your high hand. So the dealer is done with their cards. They have a pair of 8s on the top and a pair of queens at the bottom. Now what we're going to do as the dealer is we're going to show what the banker has. We're going to ignore all of the other players. No one else matters. The only thing that matters right now is the banker and the dealer. Right now what's going on is the banker's hand is going to be versus the dealer's hand. So we're going to see who wins, the banker or the dealer. So the banker's hand has a jack 9 and a pair of queens. Okay, so the jack 9 is lower than my pair of 8s, so I win on the top, and we both have a pair of queens. So because we both have a pair of queens, we are going to go to the kicker. The player banker's kicker is a 7, and the dealer's kicker is a 10. So my 10 beats his 7, so I win both the top and the bottom, so I win the hand. Because I win the hand, the player banker now owes the dealer $40. So the dealer's going to be like, okay, dude, I won. You owe me some money. So the player, or not 40, 20. The player is going to get $20 out. He's going to be like, okay, I lost. Here's $20. He gives the dealer $20. The dealer's going to bring the money in, show the cameras. They're going to show them that it's exactly equal. $20, $20. You don't want to splash as a dealer, but I'm just showing you there's $20. So it's going to show that it's equal, and the dealer is going to lock up that amount of money and put it in the rack. Now, if the player banker's hand was higher and they won, then what would happen is that $20 that we had to decide, we would give to the player banker, minus the 5% commission, of course. So now we figured out who won between the player banker and the dealer. Now, even though the dealer won, what we're going to do is we're going to take the dealer's cards and we're putting them in the discard rack, because now the dealer's cards don't matter. We're going to take the player banker's cards and we're going to put them where the dealer's cards were. Now, this is now the dealer's cards. And now we're going to go to each player and we're going to figure out who won, either the player banker or the player. So this player has, let's see, this player has a king and an 8, so they win because they're higher than my jack 9, so they win on the top. And they have a straight on the bottom, and their straight is higher than my pair of queens. So they win on the top and they win on the bottom. They have $10. The player banker is going to take $10 out of his money. Let's see where you guys can see this. Here you go. Okay, so that's his money. He's going to take $10 out of his money, and he is going to pay that player because that player won. Now, even though we're doing the player bankers and everything, everyone still has to pay a 5% commission. So we have $10 bet, the 5% commission. 5% commission goes to the house because the house still has to make money, and the player gets paid the $10. So now we're going to the other player. The other player has a pair of 6s and the 3 of a kind 2s. So his pair of 6s is higher than my jack 9, so he wins on the top. And his 3 of a kind 2s is higher than my pair of queens, so he wins on the bottom. So he wins both the top and the bottom, so that player wins. So we're going to take, the player banker is going to take $10 out of their stack of money, and they're going to pay this player. And this player knows that he has to pay a commission. $10 gets a 50-cent commission. The house will take the commission and put it in the rack. Now that hand is done, and we're going to put the cards away. And all of the players are done, so we're going to put these cards away. And we have now successfully completed a player banker hand. The player banker button, the banker button, will now go back to the dealer, and the dealer will now play the next hand. When you're doing when you're doing player banker, the player banker cannot play player banker and then again play player banker again on the next hand. It always goes back and forth. So if this player was player banker, then on the next hand, the dealer will always be banker. And then on the next hand, they'll be like, okay, sir, would you like to be player banker? No. Would you like to be player banker? No. Okay, you want to be player banker. Here you go. And then they'll play the hand, and then the next hand, the dealer will be banker. So it always goes back and forth like that. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chats. If you guys have any other questions about Pai-Gow Poker, now is the time to ask. Otherwise, we're going to be ending the live stream. Let's see what you guys are saying in there. Oh my God, let's see. I have so many people. Okay, I guess I've been ignoring you guys for a while. Martin, hey Martin, how you doing? I'm glad you found my channel too. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you ever have any questions or anything, let me know. These live streams are perfect for asking questions and getting answers and figuring out what's going on. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel and everything. Cool. So Alan asks, what do you think of Southern Charm Charleston? I do not know. I do not know Southern Charm Charleston, so I could not tell you what my opinion is because I don't know. Yeah. Hey John, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Ha! James. James said, I came in late. Can you start the stream over, please? That's why replay is so wonderful. That's awesome. I like your answer. MGTOW, Kazimi. I like your answer. That was a funny answer. Slot shot. Why would you want to be banker? Can you be banker and make a bonus bet? No. If you are the banker, if you are doing player banker, you cannot do the fortune bonus and you cannot do the dragon hand. No one could do the dragon hand when you're doing a player banker. The reason why you want to be player banker is because it has a much higher house, or not much higher, I'm sorry. It's a much better advantage for the player to play player banker than it is for them to play normally. And the reason why is because the rules are skewed in your favor. One of the examples that I used earlier is if you're doing a player banker and you both tie, so one player ties, both of you tie, but you're doing player banker, then you win the tie. If the dealer's the player banker, or if they're banking, I should say, then they would win the tie. So that's one example of how the rules are skewed in your favor when you're player banker, and that's one reason why you want to be player banker. Cool. Glad that helped, Dan. Right on. Is it compulsory to have a player banker, or could it always be the dealer? So typically, because people don't normally do now I can't talk. Because people don't normally do player banker, the dealer will usually always be the banker. However, if someone sits down at the table and they let the dealer know, hey, I like banking, then the dealer will start the procedure where he starts asking the players, okay, would you like to be banker? Would you like to be banker? And that's how they would start it off. But typically what happens is people just play the normal game and they don't play player banker. It's pretty confusing for the dealers, so it's even more confusing for the players. I hate to say there's plenty of dealers out there that don't know how to do player banker. So yeah, if you guys ever have any questions about any of it, feel free to ask and I'd be more than happy to help. Okay, so that's about it. I think I've pretty much answered all of your questions in the chat. If you have any more questions, now's the time to get them in. Otherwise, we've been going on for an hour and 15 minutes, which usually means that it's time to end. So I'm going to start that. Awesome. So that does it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining me, and join us again next time for my Let's Play Pai-Gow Poker live stream on Monday, May 13th at 7 p.m. 13th, is that right? Nope, it's the 20th. On May 20th at 7 p.m. I knew there was a mistake there. Until then, this is Heather Ferris with Vegas Aces, reminding you that education can change the world. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Bye. Have a good weekend. See you.